This is paper 1 video 7 for the February mock. The first question we're going to look at is this. So here we're using a combination of fractions and problem solving kind of techniques in order to find the answer to this. So we've got that in a year group there's 3 times as many boys as girls. 1/6 of the boys have blonde hair, 2/3 have blonde, the girls have blonde hair, and there's 70 pupils altogether with blonde hair. We need to try and work out how many people in the group. Again, like many questions where there's a number of steps involved, I'm going to take one line at a time. I'm going to focus in very first off with the very top bit. It says that 3 times as many boys as girls. So if I said that there were 1 girl, 3 times as many would mean there are 3 boys. Now, because the rest of the question is all to do with fractions, I'm going to change this into a fraction as well. So for boys, 3 quarters, because there's 3 boys and 1 girl in a group of 4, 3 quarters of the pupils are boys, and for girls, 1 of 4, so 1 quarter of all the pupils are girls. What I can now do is, without having to use any numbers and without having to know the total at all, I can start using these fractions to try and work something out. So it says 1/6 of the boys have blonde hair. So that means 1/6 of 3 quarters. Well, 1/6 of 3 quarters is exactly the same as doing 1/6 times 3 quarters. So 1 times 3 gives us 3. 6 times 4 is 24. It might simplify, but I'm going to leave it for now just in case it might be useful to leave it in that form. For the girls, it says that 2/3 of the girls have blonde hair. So my aim is to try and find 2/3 of a quarter. Now, I don't know how to find 2/3 of a quarter. However, I do know that finding a fraction of a fraction is the same as timesing the 2 fractions together. So I've got 2 over 12, just timesing the top and the bottom. So that means 3/24 of all of the pupils in this group are boys with blonde hair. 3/12 of the entire group are girls with blonde hair. So the total number of people with blonde hair actually is represented by these 2 added together. So that's what I'm going to do next. 3 over 24 plus 2 over 12. Now, I can't add these 2 fractions together as they stand because they've got different denominators. So the first thing I'll need to do is change them both so they've got the same denominator. And in this case, I'm going to make them both over 24. So the first fraction I've not changed. The second fraction I have to times by 2 or double to give me 4 over 24. Adding these 2 together is 7 over 24. So this now takes us back to a question earlier in the exam, because we've got that 7/24 of the total year group is equal to 70, the total number of people with blonde hair. Remember, if I knew that number, I would do that divided by 24 times by 7, and it would equal 70. But because this is the number I'm looking for, if I take 70 and do the opposite of this, I will find whatever number I started with. So 70, opposite of times 7, is divide by 7. So 70 divided by 7 is 10. Times by 24, because we're doing the opposite, is 240. So that tells me that there are 240 pupils in the entire year group. The next topic I'm going to look at is expanding and simplifying triple brackets. Now, I'm not going to do all of these, but I will take one of each form. So one with just simple brackets, and then something a little bit more complex lower down. My advice to you would be to expand the ones that are squared first. So x plus 2 squared means that you need to do x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 2. Well, if we do that, we get x times x is x squared, x times 2 gives us plus 2x, 2 times x again is plus 2x, and then 2 times 2 is 4. Simplifying this a little bit at this stage will give me x squared plus 4x plus 4. I now need to multiply this by the final bracket that I've not yet used. So if I put what I've just worked out back into a bracket, put the other one alongside it, I now need to multiply everything in this bracket by everything in this one. So we get x squared times x, which is x cubed, and x squared times 4, which is plus 4x squared. 4x times x is plus 4x squared, and 4x times 4 is plus 16. Last bit I need to do is this 4 multiplied by everything in this bracket. So 4 times x, we'll work down here so we've got a bit of space, is plus 4x, and 4 times 4 is 16. Collecting together now, the only bit of x cubed I've got is here, so my simplified version will give me x cubed. For x squared, we've got 4x squared plus another 4x squared, so 8x squared. Looking at the x terms, we've got off the little x on that one before, we've got 16x plus 4x, so 20x, and then the number on its own, we would have plus 16. If we just look at one more final question on this topic, just so you've seen an example where it's a little bit more complex. So here, we're going to do 2x plus 2 squared and 3x plus 4. So if I take 2x plus 2 and square it, so remember times by itself to give us 2x plus 2. Multiplying these out first, we've got 2x times 2x, just be careful, 2 times 2 is 4, so that gives us 4x squared. 2x times 2 would give us 4x. 2 times 2x, again, is 4x. And then 2 times 2 is also 4. Collecting this together, we get 4x squared plus 8x plus 4. So I now want to multiply this by the final bracket that we've not yet used. So we get 4x squared plus 8x plus 4, and we multiply it by 3x plus 4. So again, using the same idea, I need to multiply everything in the first bracket by everything in the second. 4x squared times 3x, 4 times 3 is 12, and the x squared times x is x cubed. 4x squared times 4 will give us 16x squared. 8x times 3x, or 8 times 3 is 24, so it's 24x squared. And then 8x times 4, we'll have to go down to the next line for space. 8 times 4 is 32, so it's 32x. Final bit, I need to do 4 times both bits in the bracket. So 4 times 3x is 12x, and 4 times 4 is 16. Collecting all the appropriate bits together, x cubed, we've just got 12x cubed. In terms of x squareds, we've got 16x squared and 24x squared, so combined is 40x squared. Adding the x's together, 32 and 12 gives us plus 44x, and then just the number on its own at the end, so plus 16. Have a go at the other questions, and ask your teachers if you're not sure about the answer.